Ah, good
I
evening.
can't see.
Yeah, I need one of those too. How are you?
Good.
How was your day?
It was my day. I was working.
Yeah, it sounds like it's one of those days.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Oh my gosh. How long do you work on a normal day?
9 hours. Some days I work 12. So,
Yeah, I remember those days. Those 12-hour shifts, man, I tell you.
hmm.
I think when you're single and don't have kids to and a spouse to go home through like I did, 12
Hmm.
hours was great for me. After my first child and got married and those 12-hour shifts are like, man, no, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
One of those things. So what's going on with you? What's happening? What's new? I know we talked a little bit a couple of days ago.
And nothing. I actually got a project manager for my book, so they're gonna do a lot more promoting than me. They have a
You
whole team of people promoting it now. So they're gonna actually have a movie trailer on YouTube. It was funny because I was filling out the questionnaire and they said that what kind of voice do you want? A voiceover, and what type of voice is it? A haunted voice, and female, male accent.
mhm.
So I mean, when I was trying to fill it out, I had technical difficulties doing it, so I ended up and reaching out back out, and they're going to call me on Monday and they're going to walk me through it. So, but
That's
I'm excited.
exciting.
I'm just tired. It's 11 o'clock. So,
Yeah, I think I like and thank you for joining me at such a late
yeah.
hour. I am waiting for a couple more from our community to join, but what I
Mhm.
liked about seeing on your profile is that you steadily post. So you're consistent about your posting. So keeping your posts and your book and your art relevant all the
Yeah.
time, every day.
Hmm.
And I think that's smart, um,
Yeah. It's
especially
tiring.
with a
It's like
project
a second
this big.
job.
It is. And I guess that's why you hire a
Yeah.
manager, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Is this going to lead into your second book, or is this primarily just for your first book?
I think this will help once my second book comes out. So I'm hoping that, with the traction of the fans that I
Hmm.
have on the first book, they'll definitely, some of them are waiting for the second. So hopefully, I'll get it done by February next year. That's my deadline. Doesn't mean that it's going to actually come out then, but
That's still kind of quick, though,
yeah,
considering.
but
Do
I wrote the first one really quick, so it took me about 6 months to write. So it's
you
just
think
to
it's going to
edit.
be longer?
You know what, this one's a little bit more complicated, so yes.
Ooh, plot twist.
Yeah, there's more involved. So,
That's good, though. So, like for me, I really like true crime, and I do listen to a lot of podcasts about true crime,
yeah.
and I do watch YouTube videos about true crime. Uh, a couple of YouTubers specifically, but um, I see how the amount of work that they put in, the research time,
Hmm.
the writing the script, the making the video, the editing. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they can post videos 3 times a week or twice a week even.
Hmm.
It's my mind is blown. And to think about like your project, about what's happening with your project,
Hmm.
wow, coming up in February, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's quick.
I um I like true crime though. I like watching true crime. I
Yeah.
think it's like a mother thing. I need to know what's going on. But
Yeah, some of the stuff though, I mean, a lot of the true crime that I watch is really from the past, of course. Even back in the 70s, some as far as the 60s. But man,
hmm
think about even the crimes, the true crimes that happen today. Hey, Shonda, true crimes that happen today.
yeah,
It's unbelievable.
yeah, I know, and I've been like, I'm gonna shout out Mr. Ballin because I've been watching him on YouTube forever,
Oh,
and because
nice.
he's a storyteller, so he tells the true story, and he does a really good job on it. So,
What's his name?
Mr. Ballin, Ballen. So if you have something to listen to in your car, that's who I listen to. So,
Okay, yeah, I have to check him out. I listened to this podcast called Rock and Mango. It's actually on Spotify,
hmm
Pandora, and on YouTube.
hmm
Rock and Mango. Man, the cases that I read or listen to, there are actually, so there was two cases here in Hawaii that I was involved in. One of them is when I first started out my journey as mm, understanding my mediumship,
yeah,
and it happened with a teenage girl who um, was a victim and had passed.
hmm
And she came to me that day that she had passed, and it was actually in this house, and I didn't understand what was going on. I did have a mentor at that time, so
hmm
she did kind of, I let her know what was going on. She did kind of explain what I needed to do, and everything was just so foreign for me.
yeah,
And I ended up, long story, I was able to help the mom find the evidence they needed for the suspect who ended up being this young girl. She was 17 at the time when she passed on.
okay,
Um, uh, the suspect was her boyfriend,
hmm.
and they couldn't prove it. They didn't have any evidence. But this little girl showed me, this young girl showed me that she had left her purse in his car under the seat,
hmm
and there are receipts in her purse with that exact date and time that she went missing. And it was like something out of that movie, The Sixth Sense. Have you ever heard of that
Oh
movie?
yeah, that was a really good movie.
Yeah,
I think that was the
yeah, it was
only
really
good movie he made.
true.
That was so it was a like a plot twist, you know.
Yeah,
Like you didn't
true.
expect him to be dead, you know. And then they
And the
showed
thing is,
everything in red, which was kind of interesting. So
but all the signs were
yeah,
there. I mean, if you didn't really understand what they were doing, it was written as all the signs are there. I see dead
hmm
people, blah blah blah, and all this.
yeah,
So it was like a scene out of that for me with this young girl.
hmm
So they were able to get court papers to go search this guy's car, find out he was a drug dealer. She was going to break up with him, and he
hmm
didn't want that to happen. And of
hmm
course, he did what he did. She knew what was going on at the time when it was happening. She hid the evidence in her car. They found the evidence. He uh, confessed to what was going on and why he did it,
hmm
and he's in jail now. He's
okay,
serving a 45-year sentence.
wow,
You know, and I became friends with the mom, um, who has another son, a younger son, and
hmm
she was so distraught, and she's like, I don't want to let my son out of my sight. I don't trust the world. I don't trust people. I don't want him to get into a relationship. And all I said was, listen, I think that's something that might be out of your control once he gets older,
yeah,
but I don't think you want to shelter him to the point where when he gets out into the real world at an adult age, it's culture shock for him. I don't think you want to do that to him, but it's just my opinion,
hmm
you know. But anyway, it was just one of those things. And the second one was actually with my mentor. I was able to, um, her father-in-law had passed away, and I was able to connect with her father-in-law, and he had spoken about, eh, just things, the connection, how he felt like she was a daughter he always wanted because he didn't have any daughters. All
Hmm.
he had was two sons,
Yeah.
but they had something in common where they actually went through um, a rehab group together, and that's how they became close. They were actually he was actually her sponsor in this rehab group, and they became very very close. So this is one of those things, but after a while, I kind of let all that go. I stopped doing readings. I stopped even on the lives. I didn't like to do readings. There are times when I'm called to do readings. I think I
Hmm.
shared with you a little bit about your sister,
Yeah.
and I shared one in another person's live here on Instagram last year, and that one was kind of heavy, and that was about a missing person, and
Wow.
there was some truth that came out that he was actually not missing, that the family knew what was going on,
Yeah.
that the family hid secrets, because the mom was protecting one son. It's just
Hmm.
one of those things. It was crazy. So sometimes those things can get really heavy for me, and I really like to do those a lot,
So
especially now.
I'm going to tell you a little story. So, after my sister passed away, she,
Hmm.
we ended up moving to the States because she passed away in Germany.
Okay,
Um,
remember that.
she was 4. She got hit by a car. So we brought her over to the States because that's where we were being transferred.
Hmm.
And I wasn't around yet, but this is the story my mom told me, my brothers, because my brothers were they're older, and and we moved to Connecticut, and what happened was my oldest I have an older brother and a middle brother. They're older than me, but the middle brother had a really deep connection with my sister.
Hmm.
And she always protected him, even though she was 4. She used to protect him. And what I don't know if I told you the story, but after her passing, she used to visit him, and she used to visit him in the bathroom. But
Hmm.
but the day that we moved there, my brother was going to the bathroom, and he wasn't familiar with the house that we were staying in, and he went into the kitchen instead, and he said he saw Kathleen standing there, and on the top of the counter was a pack of cigarettes, and she pulled 3 of them out and broke one, indicating that she's no longer. And at that moment, my brother was 6 at the time. 2 angels came through. So one came through the door, and another one through the picture window that was in the kitchen.
Hmm.
And she explained that she doesn't have wings, so they're going to take her. And when they left, all these flowers fell to the ground, and the flowers just kind of, um, God, I can't think of the word, but they were there. They weren't
Yeah.
flowers that were from the house. They made flowers, and it fell to the ground.
Wow.
Um, so the next morning, my mom woke up and saw the cigarettes, and she was looking, and then my aunt came, and she looked at the window, and she goes, "Where did these flowers come from?" And then Jeffrey, my brother, came, and he said that, "Oh, Kathleen was here last night, and that's what the angels left." And so it was just like, it was spooky, but
Hmm.
supposedly it happened. So, but
That's cool. I've never heard that before.
yeah. So, and then she used to visit. She used to visit my brother in the bathroom out of all the places, and he used to get annoyed. You know, he would yell up for my mom, said, "Get Kathleen out of the bathroom. Trying to go to the bathroom."
Were,
She's
were they
talking.
close in age?
Yeah, she was 4. He was 6.
Oh, very close then.
Hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And was your brother the oldest?
And him, no. I had another brother who was he was 7 at the time, so 7, 6, and she was 4. And me, and my brother was born after her, and then me. So we have a kind of big age gap between us, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm close to my younger of my brothers because he's 3 years ahead of me. So my other ones are in their 50s, 60s, you know.
I remember you saying the first time we had you as our guest that you didn't really know too much about your sister because you were very young yet at that time.
I wasn't even born yet.
Oh, you weren't
So
born yet.
so
Okay.
all I
Yeah.
knew was from stories from my family.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I'm getting cold. I'm in the basement, so I don't
Yeah.
have a wrap. I'm gonna cover
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Stay warm.
And
Yeah. I remember you
it's
saying
been
that. But
raining today, so the weather is not anyway. So
oh, I gotta send you some Hawaii sunshine.
yeah,
We've
I
had
know,
sunshine
right?
all day today.
I need Hawaiian sunshine. I need some warm weather. It seems like it's like bipolar in New England. It's like one day would be 80 and you're dying, and then the next day it's like 40, you know? So,
Yeah. I mean, when was this? A couple of days ago, Thursday, I think.
mhm.
So I live on the west side of the island,
Yeah,
and it's the lee side of the island, so it's not very windy, it's not very rainy or anything like that. It's usually
mhm.
very sunny.
Yeah,
But man, we've had some ugly weather this last couple of days. It's been overcast. Then
right.
it'll rain just enough to wet everything and then stop.
Yeah.
So if you'd washed your car, it'll rain just enough to make your car ugly again, and then
Mm-hmm.
the sun will come out. Then you got spots all over your car.
Oh,
So
pollen
it's
is the pollen's really bad too. So I have a brown car and it's all green. So
oh my goodness.
it, but I was thankful it rained because it took the pollen away. But yeah, it was like downpouring all day today, and I mean it's frigid. It's like I want summer. I hate spring because it's like the monsoon season, you know.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to be coming up to hurricane season in a couple of months too, so that's going to be
I
fun.
forget you guys get hurricanes, don't you? Is it typhoons over there or is it hurricanes?
Okay, so the worst we've had was back in the I want to say early 90s. We've had two big ones that really messed with the islands, Hurricane Iba and Hurricane Iniki. So we like to be cute. We give them Hawaiian names
Oh,
here.
okay.
Um, but and Iniki and Eva, the two different hurricanes, were really bad. I mean, I remember my grandparents lived close to the beach, and we grew up there in that house.
Hmm.
And sea level is, I want to say, maybe 10 feet here, the sea level, and their house is up here, like over, you got to actually get on a
Hmm.
hill to get to their property. But man, I remember that first hurricane. Um, my grandparents' house was flooded. They had to actually go up to the house where I live with my parents up in the valley, and it was high enough where we weren't going to get any wave actions or anything like that. We went back the next morning just to see that there's a water line on my grandparents' house all the way on around the house on the walls. And
Hmm.
at that time, I want to say 11 or 12, and the water line was higher than me. It was up here. And
Wow.
we'd go into the different rooms in the bathroom, especially in the shower. We found lobsters, maybe about that big. We found different fish that we usually eat all throughout the house. It was amazing. The damage that was done,
Mm.
man, it was unreal.
Yeah, we don't have
Um,
anything. I mean, we have snowstorms. That's like basically like we have nor'easters. So if it's an ice storm or a snowstorm, we don't get many hurricanes. And when hurricanes do happen, they don't. I mean, they don't reach us. I mean, we get wind. That's about it, but nothing like crazy wind.
yeah,
Like a hurricane.
New England isn't close to any bodies of water, right?
No, it is. It is. We're on the East Coast, so where Florida is,
Ah,
we're all the way up. So with Maine and the other um, states, where like I'm 45 minutes away from the ocean. So
oh wow. So you're very close.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very, very. Well, I'm glad you've made it so far and that you're safe where you are right now. I don't know if you remember Tina. Tina, this is Joyce.
Hi.
Joyce, this is Tina.
How are
Hi,
you?
We are we're all part of
I'm well. How are
that
you?
community,
Yeah.
that group chat. So
Yeah.
I
Well, it's probably like what when I post on there or whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
and half
So
the
the idea,
time you guys are asleep and I'm awake and you know vice versa.
um, I just wanted to explain. Someone asked me to explain real quick why do I do this podcast? Why do I do a weekly podcast?
Hmm.
And I have to get better at it. I'll admit it. I'll have to get better at it because I want to be able to be more consistent. I want to be able to have more guests join, to
Hmm.
meet new creators, to make new friends. And I think Instagram
It seems
is a
like
good tool for us.
yeah, it seems like it's a dream. I think you started this like you did this once and you're like addicted and you're like I'm gonna make a podcast because you got
Okay, so
groups together.
I I did stream for 5 years on another platform, but
Okay.
that was something a little bit different. I did drunken trivia. So
Okay.
I would create,
That would have been
I would,
fun.
well, it got a little raunchy sometimes, but so
I
I
was
would
just
create
on
these
a
cards.
live. I was just on a live before here, and we get together every Saturday and talk about Marvel or whatever. But we were
Okay,
just talking about ASMR because
yeah.
my voice is so like relaxing. I can put people to sleep, and I'm like, what the heck is that? When I first found out what that was, I'm like, should I get an OnlyFans? I don't know what to do with this. So, but it's just relaxing and I said I have a book read. It all started was coming soon. I have a book reading. Somebody else is going to. They're like, you're not reading your book. I'm like, no, I'm having somebody else do it. Why? I go because I'll put everybody to sleep if I did it. But yeah, yeah. So somebody else is reading my first chapter. He has a whole studio. He's doing it. So
Well, make sure you send that to the group chat, the
I will.
invitation, so we
I
can
will.
join. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So someone asked me a couple days ago, and I just wanted to explain real quick. And thank you, Tina, for joining us
Mm-hmm.
tonight, and everybody else. I saw Cleo and I saw Annie G join as well, Annie Girl. But I did on this app called Periscope. I did stream for 5 years, and it was a time when I was in the dark part of my life, and I just wanted to meet new friends and meet new people. And I went on live once, like you said, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to go on the next day. And it
Mm-hmm.
went from once a week to twice a week to 3 times a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And let me tell you, the cost of alcohol that I was spending during those 5 years was outrageous.
Wow.
And I'm glad I stopped.
Yeah.
I'm glad I
That's
stopped.
good.
But I would put together cards like this. I don't know if you can see this. I put together
Yeah.
cards like this.
So,
Okay.
These are cards I do reading with, so I'm going to give Tina a reading tonight.
Oh,
And
okay.
we would
oh
do,
no!
yeah, I have to warn you, there's some cards you don't want. But I did that for 5 years, and man, I think at one point, this app, I could have up to 3,200 people. I had 8 moderators, and 3,200 people in the chat.
Yeah.
And everybody is vying for, I show you a card, it could be a candy, it could be a logo. The first one to get it that I see in chat gets the point. And we played it 20. And along the way,
Wow.
every time you get it right, I take a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered that by the end of the night, after 3 hours of streaming, I was gone.
Yeah.
It was wasted. But it was fun.
You'd be there and then gone. Boom. You'd be like,
You know, it
oh
was kind
my
of
God.
entertaining. But I mean, I settled down and I met a different crowd of people, and I started to embrace a different side of who I was, and understanding that I was trying to fill a void with, I was trying to fill a wrong hole with a square peg,
Yeah.
and I wasn't doing the right thing. And I met some people who had kind of pushed me on this path of spirituality, understanding that there is so much more to me than just entertaining people and getting drunk
Mm-hmm.
on a live stream, but having fun,
Yeah.
not being obnoxious, making new friends. In fact, that's where I met my partner, Grizz, was in this app.
Mm-hmm.
So this app went out of business, and I decided, you know what, 3 years later, Grizz and I kept talking. We'd like to rebuild this community.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the chance to do it here. And because I haven't done it for a few years, it was hard for me to put this face on that camera.
Yeah.
I didn't have the courage to do it. I didn't have the self-esteem to do it. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I thought we could rebuild another spiritual community where all we did was tarot, but I don't read tarot.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn, but I don't read it. And so along the way, as I was scrolling through Instagram, I saw different people. And I was led to their profiles, which I was led to yours, Joyce, and I
Yeah.
was led to Tina, as well as everybody else you see in our group chat. I was led
Mm-hmm.
to them. And it started to be, you know what, we're going to expand. I want to bring on creators and build this community of creators, of like-minded people, no matter what you do, no matter where you're from.
Yeah.
Come and share what you do. Come and share your passion. Come and share your work with us, because I'd love for you to share what you do. And if we
Mm-hmm.
can help you get more eyes on what you do, if we can help you get more followers, if we can help you get more clients, I'd love to do that. And that's how this community started. That's how this live started.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started to, um, with Grizz's help, of course, build this community and go on live. And at one point, I think we were doing 2 or 3 lives a week, and it just got too much for me. I had so much going on. In the last couple of weeks, I got so much going on, and I kind of felt out of it today. I wasn't sure if I was going to go live today.
Yeah.
And then I remember the best time for me, the best way for me to get over being uncomfortable is doing that thing that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't like showing my face either. So it took me a long time to build my
Well,
confidence.
I think you know, and I said this before in a
I
post
still put lipstick
that,
on. So I was like,
hey,
yeah.
you know what?
I'm
You
like,
would still look great without makeup or lipstick, okay, Joyce? So don't fool yourself, all right? But I think people, when they follow us, and I say invest, whether it's their time, their emotions, their
Mhm,
money, or whatever it is with us as creators, content
mhm.
creators of any type, they don't invest in the product. They invest in us as people. And the only way
Yeah,
you can get them to invest in yourself, in you, Joyce,
yeah,
is to show your face, to be there, be present. Let
yeah,
them see who they're investing in.
yeah.
And that's what puts me on the camera every week, even though I don't want to do it. That's what puts me on. I can't do it on Instagram. I don't do selfies for some reason.
I do,
But
but I'm like
yeah,
angling and making sure that
I'm
everything looks
not there
good.
yet. I'm not there yet. But I'm here. Once a week, I'm here. At least I try. So with that, I'm going to do Tina reading because I wanted to do one for her for fun. Grizz and
Okay.
I talked about it. Please know, any readings, any card readings I do is strictly for entertainment.
Hmm.
And please understand that Tina, nothing is personal, so please don't be offended. All right.
We're good. I got a hard shell.
All
I
right.
can't
So
handle it.
I have
Let's see
20
what you got.
cards in this bag, and I'm gonna
Okay.
pick a number from 4 to 7. Okay, so I'm gonna pick
6.
6 cards out of the bag. The object of this reading is you
Okay.
need to have at least 5 points. Okay? You
Got a
can.
notepad.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up 6. I'm gonna randomly, so I'm kind of mixing up the cards in this bag. I'll bring it higher so you can see. I got 1, 2.
Is that a Crown Royal
Yeah, not,
bag?
Where's
not
the
sponsored.
booze? Where's the
Not
booze?
sponsored. I got one of
Guilty as
every color.
charged.
1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4,
oh
He's a
man.
5, 6.
collector.
Okay, I am. Unfortunately. Okay, so I got 6 cards in no order. Now I do take uprights and reverses. Okay, so your first card you have.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's in the reverse. We're gonna take this one in the upright. The first card you got was the Ace of Assholes. It's a -3 points. So you're at the -3 points. Okay, Ace of Assholes.
Ace of Assholes?
Mind you, these are
Interesting.
cards that I made up because I'm sick and
Okay.
twisted in my head sometimes. I don't know. All right, next card.
It's all about
Next card is
creativity.
in the upright. You have the. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm not going to even say it. You can read it.
Queen of
It's backwards, but
Ding, ding, ding.
it's a +2. So you have 2 points. You have two
Is that a 2?
points.
Okay. Well, so technically I'm
No,
just negative
I'm
1
not going to
still.
take that -3 points because it
Oh,
was
no,
in the
it's +2.
reverse. So you're just in the +2.
Oh, okay. So,
All right.
okay, +2. Got it.
All right. So the third card, I'm not going to show you yet. Third card is very important. The fourth card you have. Oh,
I don't even know what we're
boy.
doing here.
We're doing a reading. Joyce, we're doing a reading.
With
This is
points?
Luca's reading. We're doing Luca's reading. This is Luca's tarot.
Oh, God.
Okay,
This is not normal, Carol.
this is the eggplant
Okay.
emoji. The eggplant
This
emoji will
Back it
take
up.
should
you
be on
back to 0.
OnlyFans now.
What
You
does
know?
it say? Oh, hold on real
Yeah,
quick, okay? I'll be right back. Give me
OnlyFans?
1 second.
No. So when I was streaming on that other platform, Periscope,
Yeah.
at that time, I think Snapchat Premium was the thing.
Yeah.
And we would go on and say,
Okay,
okay, go
I'm
go
back.
follow my or go buy my Snapchat Premium. It was a joke.
Yeah.
And I used to talk about selling feet pics, and
Score.
I was like, no, okay, you know what? I got to stop. That's a really bad joke. I'm offending people who are on Snapchat Premium making a living. So, okay, your last
Oh,
card
man.
was takes you back to 0. This is your eggplant emoji. This
But
is
what does
back
it
to
say on
0.
it?
So
Oh,
you have
back
no
to
points.
0. My goodness. So,
Yep,
so
that's
0
okay.
points?
You still have a
I'm so
chance.
confused.
Here's your fifth card. This is a +2.
King of.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Now you need 3 points to win the game, and there's one card in this deck that you actually want to get in order to win the entire game. And I'm just going to give you a preview of what you could have got. This is one of those cards that helps you to pick one more. See, she's saying you can pick one more card.
Oh, man. That is a little
I
twisted.
told you, I have my days. This is your Jackass card, -2 points. So these are all these other cards you could have gotten. Oh, this is one of my favorites. The two fucks given. That's your +1 card. And
Oh, my gosh.
the card you really want is a card that's going to take you to the top. Oh, I have one of these too. This is a +3 points. This is a good card. So we do have some very good cards in this deck. The
So what do we
That's
one
do?
card
cute.
you wanted to get when I streamed on the other platform, I had this thing called Luca Bucks, and you wanted to get Luca Bucks because the Luca Bucks I used to design jewelry.
Oh.
And if you got 3 Luca bucks, I'd send you a custom made jewelry set. So it would be earrings, bracelet, and necklace.
Okay.
So I used to do that. Let's see if I have it.
I get my glasses.
This
Because...
this was your goal. You wanted to win 3 of these.
Oh.
Oh wow.
That's
yes,
That's
a Luca
very
box.
big.
See it?
It's,
So,
yeah, I know, it's so cool.
It's Luca.
It's so
yeah,
expensive.
that's what happens. That's what happens when you live alone, and whiskey is your best friend. So here's your last card.
Oh, good.
You have, I think, 2 points. Yes, you have 2 points. You need 3 more points.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one card that'll help you win the game, no matter how many points you have. And this is the card. You have
Okay.
the plus card,
The Hulk.
the plus 5 points. This automatically makes you win
Ooh,
the
so
game.
did I win?
Yep. So
And the whole thing was just to
now
get
the whole
1
thing
point
was
plus
to get the game was to get
or
5
3.
points.
Oh,
But you
okay,
had pretty good
7.
cards. You had the Ace of Assholes, you had the Queen of Booties, you had the eggplant emoji, the King of Gum, and then of course the Luca.
Oh shit! It's like
Yeah.
the
Well,
Hulk.
I have stuff like this. This is no points. See that?
Yeah.
This one takes you back to 0.
Oh, man.
Yeah, guys, this is not your normal
Oh
reading.
my
Okay,
gosh.
again, any readings I do is strictly for fun. Oh, here's the pick one more card again.
Oh, that's
See
funny.
it?
Oh, the little baby. The strange eyes.
Oh.
This is one of my
Oh
favorites,
man.
but it's a minus point.
Do you have any
Yeah.
positive points in there?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I
this is
do.
negative, this is negative, this is negative.
Well, the idea is not to have too many. You want to have more negative cards than positive, but you have the ultimate card. So this is a plus 3 points.
Oh, okay. He's not like
This
doing
is
the finger somewhere
believe
behind
it or not, this is a plus 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
But he's still giving the finger.
Yeah. This is again one of my other favorite ones, and I think I'm gonna get demonetized, but I'm demonetized already, so whatever. But this was the negative 3 points. This is one of the newest cards I threw in.
Oh man.
So,
Oh man.
congratulations, Tina.
You got
win the game
nothing.
tonight.
No.
No, she's got 5 points.
I got
Oh. You got
The look
negative
Got me
nothing.
the look bug. Got me.
All right.
Oh man, that was worth the
You're
laugh. Thank you
very
very much. I needed
welcome.
that.
So that's the kind of crazy stuff I used to do on the other platform.
Yeah.
You know, we do it for 3 hours. I never did this type of cards, but it was the same thing. We laughed, we had fun.
Yeah.
I couldn't get other people to join on video, but that platform actually upgraded at one point, and we were able to do just the call-in. So I could hear you audibly, but not
Yeah.
visible.
Oh, okay.
Video. That's why I like Instagram,
Yeah.
because you get that video. So
The only thing is that you get only 4. You can't do any more than. Can you imagine? Like 20 people, little heads.
oh
I know.
no, there
so
was one. There was an app that came out. I think it was called Haps after after Periscope, and you could have up to 6 people, something like that.
Yeah.
And I think TikTok is the same way. You can have up to 6 people.
Oh, that was.
So when I say I'm going to give you a reading, those are the cards I'm going to use.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you got me all scared there for a moment. I was like,
You're
what's
all
going on?
totally negative. He's like, these are all
I-
bad cards.
Right?
That's how we
Honestly,
started out.
I was
They're all
afraid.
bad.
I had to pick who I was going to give the reading to, and Grizz and I talked about it last week, and she said, we need a reading from you. And I had to pick, man, I don't want to give Tina a reading because I think I might offend her, and I think I'm going to offend Joyce if I gave her a reading.
Well, yeah,
And I
if
said,
you gave me a bunch of cards with fingers on it, I would be offended. What is this? This is not telling my future.
Some bullshit.
No, no. I
That's
I
funny.
just felt right to give
That's
Tina a reading
funny.
tonight. It's kind of
Yeah.
my thank you for my reading the last time around.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that. That was
So I
hilarious.
did ask Tina to come on and join us. Tina was kind enough to say that if anybody wanted to do a reading, Tina, you can stop me anytime. If anybody wanted to do a mini reading, we can do that. I don't know if
On the
I'd
life.
like to welcome donations for Tina if you'd like as well. We can do that. But Joyce, since you're up on screen, and I know your time is ticking down,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you might be interested in a mini reading, but I will offer it to you since you're here.
I guess. I don't know.
It
Is
won't
it
be
three
from me.
dollars?
It'll be it would be the better reading. It would be the better reading from Tina. All right, none of
Well,
that
read
stupid crap
Tina.
from
You
me.
don't have to read me.
No.
No, no.
Oh,
He's not going
oh,
to read. I would
oh.
read you, Joyce, if you were open to
See,
it.
it's almost midnight, so I'm like, okay, so who's and I don't even drink, so it's like, yeah, I'm in
I
a
lost
Yeah,
you.
cold
It's getting late.
basement,
I got it.
so I
Oh
know
my gosh.
that
No
I
wonder
was
you're wearing
like,
that big old blanket.
I'm like I'm
I was
wrapping
like, what is she
myself into
doing?
things I'm looking for, so
Oh my god.
but okay, yeah,
So, Joyce, if you like the reading,
sure,
we can do the reading.
mini
Would you like my
ones.
reading? Okay. Do you have a question or anything in general that we could probably
Um,
tap into?
uh, I can mention my book. I mean, I always am concerned with that, you know.
You're
Yeah,
concerned about its
you
flourish?
know, now that I have a project manager dealing with it, I just don't know which way it's going to go. Or it'll probably flourish, but I want a movie. So I'm kind of, that's my goal. But
So I'm just gonna shuffle a little bit, and then tap into
yeah,
your energy a little, okay?
let me put
I
you.
do feel so. One of the things that is kind of coming up right now, Joyce, is that there is this fear. So, like, I'm huge on. It's not just and most everybody reads differently. Okay, so this is one of the things. But one of the things I do is to really tap in and
Mm-hmm.
help you realign and assess yourself a little bit, along with really understanding where thoughts are very powerful and our words are very powerful, and you know that because you put this all on beautiful
Yeah,
pieces of paper and write it, right? So I feel like there is this sense of fear that is coming through for this. So this fear though is very evident because you're creating it. So what I would love for you to do is really to tap into like your sacral area, your solar plexus actually, and see where you're feeling this fear. Because I want to say, so your book is successful, okay? Like that's already a given. It is, you are so amazing.
yeah,
I like checked your page out, and you know I like some of your stuff, and you have such an amazing mind that that's not an issue. But you creating with your fear in the other aspect of control,
mm-hmm.
because this is the energy that is coming from this, okay? So this sense of control is that, like you just said, you have a project
Yeah,
manager. So now you're relieving that control. But
yeah,
don't think of it as a
yeah.
human. Think of it as
Mm-hmm.
a source. You know, source is in everybody. So I don't think there's any bad information I can give you. And that's again, the Ten of Wands is coming out, but that's just like relieving yourself of all the baggage, like this emotional stuff, this fear that you're carrying within yourself. And this
Yeah,
can lead from like when you were younger too, of course. I do feel like I want to throw up now a little bit. So that might be how you feel. Oftentimes, I wonder if you, from your human design, feel, do you make like decisions from your solar or your solar plexus a lot? Like it's right underneath,
yes,
like above your navel.
yeah,
Do you feel like you get that way a lot? Okay. And then, so, and see, but look at how beautiful. The King of Wands comes out. So this is you. You are the creator. This is somebody who's an entrepreneur, somebody who
mm-hmm.
leads and has passion and creativity, right? More in your masculine energy, though, creating that. I'm getting a little hot.
We'll bring that heat over here. Sorry.
So Well, I'm in
Yeah.
Arizona, but it's your energy too. I'm taking on. So we have the Nine of Cups and then the Six of Swords. Okay, so the Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment, but this is something that's going to happen. I mean, all of it is really beautiful. I don't feel anything bad happening. I do see the Six of Swords. I'm actually going to be pulling my Moonology because I feel I'm hearing to use that one. We have the Seven of Wands and then balance. So again, as much as you give out, this is the energy though. This is Pentacles are going to be like material world,
Yeah.
right? So it's your home life, your career, whatever you want to, and then also your self-awareness, I feel like, as well as spirituality. But you balancing it, this is giving you infinite. This is reminding you that you are infinite because it has the 8 in there as well. I hear like there's too guarded. So there's this energy of you being a little too guarded. Again, I see like, I know you asked the question, so I feel like I answered that, but then I digress because there's all this other information. That's really coming. Yeah. So the Moonology cards that you got is your hard work is paying off. Okay. And that's Taurus energy. So this is, again, this is Pentacles where it's more earth and grounded, where you're able to pull this down. And then you have meditate and contemplate. So this is a lot of new moon in Pisces, but that's also water element. So this is a lot of your emotions that are kind of, you're letting your emotions get the best of you is the phrase, right? So bring it in, like round it more and really meditate. And that way you can like have sometimes and see right now, like I feel you're very like up here. So you're in your crown a lot and then it's open channel and you want to be able to close that off a little bit.
Overwhelmed because
I feel like
I work, do drawing and do everything. So.
Yeah. But
yeah.
tame it a little bit, okay? Because it's I feel like it's stressing your physical vessel out, and that's really what we, So, and then the last card is surrender to the divine. So now that's a full moon. There's a lot of, again, we have a lot of like crown and third eye energy in there. So again, that's we kind of said that, right? Surrender. Let me see if I get one more card. Actually, let me pull from this other deck.
Will you do me a favor while she's shuffling?
What?
Will you do me a favor?
What?
You take 2 fingers, put it anywhere on your screen, on your phone screen.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and connect with you, okay? With your energy. Ready? You can remove it when I say when I tell you okay. Tina, you can go ahead and read. I'm sorry, I'm just being called to do this for her.
Good. Okay. And so we have the first card that came out is pleasure. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see the card. It's super pretty. The image is gold, like embossed on this, but then there's the moon. And so with the pleasure though, it's like reminding you to really enjoy the human experience. Like there's a point where sometimes where we have to really merge that, right? Balancing that into, I always say, well, we have our light, our darkness, and then we merge that as the human experience.
Like my book. That's my book.
The what? Yeah. Yes. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's out
do you
already.
have it
It's
out
on
yet, or?
Amazon. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go and buy that. I want to read it. And so the next card. So I don't know if you were having a question about love, but maybe this is just something they want to talk about. We have soulmate here, so this could potentially just be that you have connected with somebody, you are with somebody a long term, or that you are going to connect with somebody. It doesn't have to be romantic as well, though. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be an affiliate or somebody you just meet that really connects with you. So I don't know if you've met this person yet. Okay. So they are showing though that this is the stars aligning this and it's very magnetic. So it's a really deep spiritual soul connection where you probably have lived past lives. I'm almost surprised the Six of Cups didn't come up, but I do feel like Spirit really wanted to talk to you about essentially what your question was to give you ease because it feels like now you're calm, right? And it's probably what Luca did. So let me see if we get one more out of this deck real quick.
Just the
I have this other deck I'm going to use, actually, that I don't use often. So this one is, I'm going to read to you. It is an oracle deck, but I think that it'll really resonate with you. It's called Goddesses, so just so you can see what the little book is called. Gods and Goddesses. Really pretty oracle. So I think this is going to be more helpful than that, since we've already seen that. I love this. Okay, I'm going to read. You
Yeah.
got two, and they're not that long, so thank goodness, because I don't think they take forever. But
Mm-hmm.
Pod is the truth, okay? So that's the first one you got. And the other one is beautiful. Again, you have myriad of just beautiful, like,
Yeah.
fuchsia, purple crown. And then that one is a ditty, expand your consciousness.
Yeah.
So I'll read really briefly here. And then I think we'll call it a.
Yeah. I got
Hopefully that
chill.
resonated with
So,
you.
and it's not because my basement's cold.
Good.
I just got a chill. So.
Oh my goodness. So Aditi says, expand your consciousness. See the bigger picture. The universe is opening you up. Mother of the endless universe, Aditi, pronounced Aditya, I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it's T-E-A at the end, is a primordial Hindu goddess who appears often in the Vedas, the earliest Hindu scriptures. Her name means limitless or boundless in Sanskrit. Aditi is the source of all who gave birth to the entire cosmos, including all the gods and goddesses. As Celestial Mother, she's sometimes represented as a sacred cow nourishing everything on earth with her milk. Also known as Mother Space, she symbolizes the infinite freedom, divine order, and cosmic connection. It says, look at the sky, the clouds, the stars, planets, and the endless expanses stretching out in all directions. You are part of vast, limitless consciousness and a divinely ordered universe. It may be hard to remember this right now as you're consumed with the details, problems, and demands of everyday life. You might feel restricted, confined, or limited by your circumstances. Maybe you've been spending too much time indoors or listening to inflexible, narrow ideas. Aditi invites you to gaze again upon the sky outside your window. Her expansive energy swirls around your tight forehead, freeing up your mind. You've reached an impasse because you've become closed to alternative options, she says. It's easy to get locked inside your own head. You get stuck in a rut and see only dead ends and foregone conclusions. Open your consciousness, connect with the divine mind, and feel the rich expansiveness. You're not limited in any way, and I'm here to show you the extensive possibilities and plentiful resources that are always available. Widen your perspective, stand up, and stretch out your arms to the universe. Be open to unexpected blessings, surprising solutions, and new avenues of understanding. That's really beautiful. Some of the additional meanings, basically an affirmation that it has as well, is my mind is open and flexible, and I'm willing to expand. And then other areas it says, don't take things personally. Travel or move abroad and study philosophy or ancient knowledge. Develop your connection with spirit guides or spiritual guides. Yeah. I think that they would just really want, because like I'm feeling like my arms, so this is a lot of stress,
Yeah.
like it's your root chakra right there that I'm feeling, so that's your limbs. So there's this sense of safety, and obviously that is the divine masculine energy, so that's going to really be your providing and provisions and really like financial capabilities, right? So it's the financial structure. Let me read the
Well,
other one real quick.
the reason, and I'm going to give you this, the reason why I want to sell this book is my daughter has autism and the money goes to her. So the more I sell, the more, she's 17, she's going to go to college. It's going to be online because she can't physically go. But yeah, so, I told her when I was going to publish this, any royalties will go to her, but I didn't expect it to be as big as it is. You know what I mean? So that's why I keep pushing it, because it's for her and not, for my financial gain. If something grows bigger, yeah, then fine. But most of it is for her. So.
And don't ever worry, because you are a channel for source when you're putting all of these beautiful ideas onto paper, and that is helping humanity, right? So as long as you keep leading with your soul in that aspect, everything will flourish as it needs to. Like there's a beautiful garden around everywhere is what I'm seeing. Hod, it says, tell the truth, bring it out into the open, be true to your feelings.
Yeah.
Hod is, and I think you just did that right now. Says, Hod is the blind god of winter in Norse mythology. He held a quiet inner strength and was always ready to help others. Hod was tricked by the god Loki into firing an arrow made of mistletoe, which killed his twin brother Baldur. Despite his tragic mistake, Hod becomes his twin's companion in the underworld after his own death. Hod makes amends by being honest about his error and becoming a spiritual counselor in Baldur. Norse legend says that Hod survives Ragnarok, a destructive period preceding a new world, and through atonement, goes on to rule alongside Baldur. Hod's symbols are mistletoe and darkness. Hod's steadfast presence is here to remove the blindfold from your eyes. He invites you to look squarely at any truth you've been avoiding. By completing honest be completely honest with yourself about your real feelings. If you've made a mistake, do your best to make amends. Integrity is essential and the clear path ahead. Sticking your head in the sand only works for so long. I don't know if this is really going to apply. I feel like in the aspect that it is showing is that really don't deny your feelings. And really allow yourself to feel through them, because we have feelings, emotions, and then states of being. And you don't want to have your vessel fill that all within your auric field, I feel. And so it's important to release the emotion and just remember it's just a feeling and it doesn't even exist.
I
And
think
everything
it's
else
kind
you
of
have really exists.
mentioning my doubt, you know. And I hold my feelings in a lot. In relationships, you'll never hear me yell, you know, or I feel like I'm always holding everything in. And when I say something, I feel like I'm not being heard. So what's the point? So it's just like I keep it in, you know. So, you know, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at, you know, letting people know I'm here, you know what I mean, and getting the truth out, that how I actually feel, because sometimes I'm always saying I'm okay, but I'm not okay. You know what I mean? So yes, yeah, it makes sense.
Oh, and the last part, I'll read this part to you. Well, it says how basically it's just an aspect that you can call on to go
Yeah.
ahead and like hound or allow this darkness, right? Because it is a darkness within you, but that really is your
Yeah.
shadow that helps you balance your life. So I'm not saying get rid of that. The truth is safe. It says honesty aligns me with my highest purpose. So that's like just to remind yourself, and then also like I'm unconditionally loved in my body. Like that's important too, so that way you feel safe. Okay. So I hope that resonated. Thank you for letting me
Thank
So
you.
read you.
those of you who just joined, the amazing person giving that reading is TinaMontijo, Infinite Moon Love on Instagram. If you're not following her, please do so. She is an amazing person. She is great at her reading, and she posts almost every day. And I think you'll find that she talked a lot about divine feminine, divine
Yeah.
masculine, and a lot about relationships. So it really helps us who are in relationships, who are looking for a relationship, who are possibly looking to further a relationship of any kind. I think it is really important that we get educated about that. So if you'd like to get that education, if you'd like to get that guidance, go ahead and give Tina a follow. The other young lady on our screen tonight, her name is Joyce Boskin. Her book is out now, Twilight Realm. It is available on Amazon. Please go look that up. You can probably get it on Kindle
Yeah.
too. Hey, Miss V, did you want a reading, Miss V? But get a copy of it. Get the physical copy on Amazon. Read on Amazon. I promise you, you won't be sorry. So, Joyce, the
Okay.
reason why and I'm going to add a little bit of what Tina was saying, and it might confirm what I was being shown. So,
Uh,
as we spoke the last time, so tonight when we connected, I do this thing called Finger Your Screen,
yeah.
where we connect. Okay, Misty, I'm going to call you up. You
Yeah.
hang on. I call Finger Your Screen. So for me, I can connect with your energy through the screen by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done this before many times. So with tonight, there are several things that I think when Tina was doing your reading and Spirit was showing me things, I think we spoke the last time that your sister is with you.
Yes.
She might be one of your guides.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe she is always with you and nudging you. And I think we talked about how she had said she wanted to be part of your next book,
Yes.
and you made that happen. And I
Yes.
think that was a beautiful thing. And when you messaged me yesterday with that, I got really emotional. I got very teary-eyed.
Yeah.
I got very connected to that energy of your sister.
Mm-hmm.
So as Tina was reading you tonight, there's a couple things I think might be good just to share with you. And one of them was before I had met you, and I'm not saying this is what happened to change things for you, but when you were thinking about putting out your book,
Mm-hmm.
you had a purpose for it, which was your daughter.
Yeah.
Also, which is building a legacy for the Foskett name, for Joyce.
Yeah.
So you're doing those two things. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're creating a legacy for your Foskett name, and you're creating that financial need that will help your daughter in her college education, which is very commended. But before I met you, what Spirit was showing me was there was this timidness, there was a shyness about Joyce.
Yeah.
The not wanting to put this face out
No.
on the screen. More so, not sure if your book would be a success. And everybody has their own ideas of what success is. But for you, you have this idea of what success is. And the success is not, I want to be a multi-million-dollar earner. I want to be the number one on the books list for Amazon books list for years to come. Your meaning, your idea of success is being able to put your content out there, put your art out there, put your writing out there, to have people enjoy it, and in the process, be able to fulfill that legacy in your daughter's future. And because there was some shyness and timidness, you weren't sure how you were going to go about this.
Yeah.
Tina talked about a connection that I'm not sure, Tina, correct me if I'm wrong, you talked about a twin flame connection?
Soulmate.
Soulmate connection, thank you.
Soulmate.
A soulmate connection. And I believe it may not necessarily be one person. I believe your soulmate that you might have been looking for is this community. Now you've become a part of, not this community, but the community of artists.
Yeah.
There's so many artists that I see you are a part of, that I see that are liking your posts and enjoying your posts. And not only that, but they comment. And you can
And
see
I always
that
comment
every day.
back.
Right.
Even though it can get overwhelming, it's like a second job. It's like
interaction.
Thank you.
Social media is a second job.
I should have like a copy paste, but I want to get to everybody. I'm just too nice, I think. So, and then I feel bad when I miss somebody. I'm like, oh my God, I missed somebody, So
it's going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen. But people who know you, people who know about you, people who know your energy, people who know who the real Joyce Foskin is, they're not going to be offended because you miss their comment. They're not. Because we all get our lives just get real messed up with a lot of stuff. I know I'm going through it. And so is everybody else. But I guess my point is, for your question, really answer your question, is you're on the right path. This is not a coincidence that you are able to be on Instagram, to go on lives, to meet this community, to have your book come out and be published, and now get a project manager. It's not coincidence.
Yeah.
It was something that you helped to manifest. It was something that the universe says, okay, Joyce, I'm going to give you the path, but you got to walk it. You got to do the work. And you're doing it.
Yeah. And I'm sleeping.
Just in a matter of weeks now, you're on our screen when you didn't want to be.
Yeah.
A few lives ago, you're on our screen.
Yeah. I think that was my first time, and it's just, I can see how bad social media can be, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be made fun of or anything like that. So, but people like my lives when I do lives now, and I think it's because I'm funny. I don't know.
It is your whole vibration, your whole body. It is just who you are. You are very gravitating. Like, I want to go sit next to you. That's how much
and it's funny because you're not the only one that says that. Like, when I meet people at work, they just want to be my friend, and I'm like, what did I do? Because I'm genuine with them. I'm building a conversation with them. I'm not just sitting there doing my job and leaving. And I listen. I do a lot of listening. Should be a therapist, but but no, I enjoy people. I enjoy listening to people's stories, and I think that's where my creativity came from, is getting feedback. Like, this book is part of my life. This book is part of me going through grief. My family members are in there. you know, their personalities, being around that, being in the environment in Germany and being in the woods,
Hmm.
you know, the
Yep.
smells, the scents, the flowers, the moss, you know. So I've um, always learned that by the senses. So my book has a lot of senses in it. So if you're going into a room, you're going to smell the musky books and, you know, the sandalwood, the basil, and all that stuff. So I make sure I put senses in it so it feels like you were there, or you know you're there. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And then at the end,
And
it
I
does
think
have, I have my characters in the back, so I drew them all. so so when you see Eve, okay, let me, you know, on the Kindle it's easy, you can go back and forth, but in the book you just have to go in the back of the book to see the characters. But I try to make people feel the same thing with my art. I make people feel, because I put my emotions in everything I do. So,
yeah.
but thank you
You know,
for
I said
saying
it
that, because it was just you're not the only one that says it. People are like, I just want to hang out, you know, and I'm like, oh, really, you know.
I said it before, and I think you talked about it a little bit, Joyce. Um, we as humans, we were designed to interact with each other.
Yes.
And when technology has become so easy for us not to do that
Mhm.
or to take us away from that, this is one of the other reasons why I wanted to start doing these lives, was to have this interaction,
Connection.
this one-to-one interaction,
Hmm.
using the tools that we're given, which is the
Yeah.
internet, which is our devices, and use it in a way where we are forced to have that human interaction, have that one-to-one interaction. And if you have always been in a relationship, if you've always had family around, if you've always had a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or your children around all the time, it might be difficult sometimes for you to understand. For people who live alone like myself, there are
Yeah.
times when you miss that interaction.
Hmm.
There are times when you need that interaction. There are times when your energy is so low, you're vibrating so low,
Hmm.
but you know that that interaction will boost your energy, will boost your vibration again.
So
And
I
that's
have,
kind of why
okay,
I do this on the week.
so I have the stone. Okay, so it's an amethyst, and I always take it with me, and it's actually part of my book. But it's an amethyst, and I wear it all the time. I charge it, but I wear it all the time, because what it does, it keeps me calm
Mm.
and kind of pushes that negative energy away from me. So, it keeps me calm no matter, when you work in um, a retail environment, you don't know what you're going to get, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
this is like wards it off, you know, and yesterday I didn't have it, and I was like, I know it's kind of superstitious because I wear it every single day. And when I didn't wear it yesterday, I was like so drained. I was like, oh my God, I think I had every angry customer in the world. You know what I mean? So,
Oh
um,
man. Do you Joyce, do you cloak yourself? Like envision a bubble of like white gold and just, you know what I mean? And then like maybe envision mirrors being on the outside of that, even if you have it or don't have it, because
yeah,
it'll really help you just
yeah.
so that you can
So,
deflect energy from coming into you. Because you
so
are
what
very
I've
much a
learned,
sponge with that.
you know, through the process of losing my parents, um, I've seen mediums, I've seen tarot readings, clairvoyance. And there was one that I'm going to see Annie Monday, I think. And she's going to do a reading on me.
Oh,
Is it Annie or
cool.
Annie?
Annie
Annie
G?
G. Yes, she's going to do it. I
Yeah,
asked her.
cool.
I
She's
asked her.
great.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Um,
Yeah.
plus, I wanted to support her. Um, uh, so there was this woman I met, and with her, I think she's in my book somewhere, but she really was a positive force. But she reads angels, so she has angels that come to her, and I did I think connected with my guardian angel,
Mm.
and it was the best experience I've ever felt. And talking about them now, I wish I knew their name, but because I can feel them, she taught me how to feel that energy, you know, when they're coming and when you're asking for them. So it's very, I've always, it, like I said, when she asked to have us hug, have your angel hug you. Oh my God, I cried. It was the most intense feeling I've ever felt that I cried. It wasn't a bad feeling at all. It was like an encasement of love and chills, like electrifying your whole body. And I was like, I've never felt that before. And I think I was the only one that cried because I was like, this was like the best thing. So when I talk about my spirit guide or angel, um, I always feel them. I always feel, but then in my heritage or my mom's side, we're also German Romanian, so she has Gypsy in her, so she always could predict, you know, the future through dreams.
Mhm.
But I only can do feelings. I only can feel things instead of seeing things. I think I'm too scared to see things, but I mean, I don't want to see dead people. So, but I do have feelings when people are around. I can feel that energy. And when I feel that negative energy, I walk away from that thing because I'm like, I don't want to feel that anymore. But, but yeah, so she really turned my life around probably a couple of years after my parents died because I was going through a lot of bad things. And just feeling that presence there to know somebody has my back and knowing the meaning of that we all have a guardian angel that never leaves us and that you can actually physically talk to them.
Mhm.
And I think, you know, they brought a lot out of me, and I've asked for things but wasn't, you know, there's a need and a want. I asked for basic things. They honored it, or the next day it would happen. I'd be like, oh my goodness, you know. So so I do believe in the spirituality, and I do believe in like the tarot cards and all that stuff because I know there is a higher being out there. So I mean, I was always fascinated with if people can read or read me. So I can read people, but I don't read them. I know them as a person. I know their aura when they're coming in. So, but that's it.
Joyce, let me say this, Joyce,
I'm all done now.
myself, as
What?
someone myself who has seen spirits who have passed, some are in my own family.
Yeah.
Um, you will not see them like Hollywood portrays them. Okay, I did that one time with a little girl, but you won't see. They will not show you themselves unless they are a negative
Yeah.
entity, where they have like half their head missing or half their face blown off or anything like that. You're not going to see them like that. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to see them as either shadows or mists, but more than seeing that, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
And you're speaking about your guides. I've been able in the past to connect with other spirit guides. And I know we talked about your sister, and I believe she is one of your spirit guides. But you also have an older gentleman with you, an older gentleman who is very, I don't want to say he's regal, but he has this energy of um, a very staunch person, very strong in nature, and almost righteous. Where when he when I don't know if he when he was alive he never did anything wrong, but he always believed in doing the right thing for
Mm-hmm.
people, for others.
That's
And the
definitely
energy
some
around
of
you
my
that I felt was
personality. I do the right thing all the time.
maybe
You know?
it's through this spirit guide, but I do
Yeah.
feel that there's an older gentleman with you, and
Jesus.
I'm seeing him with a beard. It's white, so it's
I
white.
have God
It
next to
comes
me.
across
It's
this way,
God. I'm
and it's
sorry. I have
almost
a sense
pointed
of
down like this.
humor. Yeah.
But he
But,
seems like a very he's a strong energy, but he's there as support for you on the times when you can't be.
yeah. And you
And
know,
yeah,
it's
you can
funny
have
that you
that
say that.
conversation with them.
I wouldn't know that person if, you know, in my lifetime, somebody you say was strong, white hair, beard. Um, But I'm going to say this. So when my mom, before she passed away, she saw a lot of angels or people coming to her. She saw Jesus. She saw, my uncle, and she saw uh, my aunt's, her sister, child that passed away. Um, it was a son. He was probably about 3. He was burned, and I think he burned in the tub. It was like a weird freak accident. But she saw him older when she was dying, and he was protecting my daughter in her dreams or whatever she was seeing. But at the time, he had the white hair. He was older. So I'm wondering if that's kind of the same thing. And what's crazy about it is I drew it. My mom asked me to draw it, and I drew a picture. I unfortunately I don't have it here. It's at my mom's house, but she ended up hanging it in the kitchen. So there's this angel holding my daughter. At the time, she was 10. At the time, and so I drew that picture for her, and yeah, so it still hangs in the kitchen. I haven't been to my house for probably about 3 or 4 years, but it's right down the road.
Yeah, your daughter's well protected as well. Your daughter's well protected. I know you said she does communicate with your mom.
Oh yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
through a jewelry box, not jewelry box,
Um,
a music box.
music box.
She turns
Hmm.
the music box on and she vents to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like listening to her scream, and I'm like, and I go into her room, I'm like, are you okay? She goes, no, I'm just talking to grandma. I'm like, okay. And then I would leave the room, um but it's her way of coping, you know, venting when she can't get it out, and she can't, she can't tell me something. You know what I mean? So she vents at a jewelry box. So that's my
So I'll
mom.
share with you. Only a few people know this, but I'll share with you, Tina and Joyce. I have 4 spirit guides. One
Mm-hmm.
spirit guide who is the very first spirit guide that I was introduced to, and she is like my main spirit guide. She is a relative of my heritage back in China. She was like a lady in waiting for one of the royalty in China in the Qi dynasty, the QI dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she comes across, and I know it's usually when I'm not doing things that I should be, when I'm doing wrong things, or when I'm not doing things the right way. Put it
Mm-hmm.
that way. That just sounds weird. When I'm not doing things that that I should be doing or not doing it correctly, she comes across very strong, and I hear her speaking in Cantonese, and she's relentless, and I can hear her. I can hear her very strongly because she's trying to point out, stop that, don't go that way, don't go do this.
Yeah.
And she came to me one time recently when I did a paranormal investigation here in Hawaii, and I
Yeah.
didn't listen, and I went, and it affected me a lot. I had something connected to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a hard time getting rid of it. The other, I have 4 spirit guides, but the other one that I connect with every day as well is my daughter. I lost my daughter 27 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I lost her as a child, and
Yeah.
I have seen her. I've seen her grasping onto my leg as this little girl. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen her as a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been with me on those times when I get those very lonely times, when I get those periods of depression when it hits
Yeah.
you. She's been with, you know,
Um,
and that's kind of what our spirit guides will do for us. They will be there on those times when it's helping to guide us in the right way or to lift us up. Like this gentleman I talked about with the white hair, he
mm-hmm.
is there for you on the times when you feel like you can't be strong.
Yes.
He's there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out for him. And you can have
And
that conversation with him.
before I go, I want to show you my latest drawing I'm working on.
Okay.
It's
I
for
know it's getting late too, so I want to be mindful of that. I have one more person,
yeah.
Tina, in our community that would like a reading if
Oh,
you're
can
okay with
you see
that.
that? Can you see that?
Beautiful
Yeah.
mermaids. Are we
Yeah.
talking Muriel? This is pretty.
Wow.
I'm
I
not done
love
yet.
it.
This is just I just started. I have to still do the background and everything and color the
Nice.
other girl spin. But that's what I was working on tonight.
Very nice.
That's pretty.
And I'll post it, so it'll be. I try to post every night, but tonight I'm not going to. So
So
I'm
I've
just too
been
tired.
working with this artist who does digital art as well, and we've been hitting and missing with connected with each other. But I'm working on a deck of my own,
Yeah.
a tarot deck, and it is an elephant themed tarot
That's
deck. And
I
I
love
have
that.
4 of the main characters of this tarot deck. I don't have the Empress and the Hierophant or the Tower, the Cups, Pentacles, Wands, stuff like that, but it'll be a little bit different. But it's an elephant theme. And I've been working with this person, and I haven't been able to connect with her recently. And I'm at a standstill. And I want to keep moving forward because I
yeah.
really want to have this deck ready before Christmas. I'd like to
That's
have
awesome.
a deck ready for Christmas, but I'm working on that. But anyway,
Okay.
Joyce Foskin, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
The book is out
Nice to
on
meet you.
Amazon, like I said. Go get her a book on Twilight Realm. We are also expecting a second book, the second
Mhm.
part, and possibly a third,
Yes.
the prequel, right?
Yes.
It's kind of excited about that. Go find it on Amazon. Joyce, thank you for joining
Yeah.
us tonight.
Thank you.
I will message you
Yeah.
later. And listen, if you get the time, if you ever find that picture of that gentleman in the
Yeah.
white with the white hair, or that angel holding your daughter,
Yeah.
will you send that to me? Can
Yeah.
I take a look at that if
I have
that's
to
okay
see
with you?
if it's still at my parents' house because my brother lives there. So, and like I said, I haven't been there for years. Just it's too hard for me to visit.
I understand.
Um,
Yep, I understand.
so so yeah. So that's the same thing. I had my brother take a picture of my sister. So I'm like, take a picture of her. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
send it
remember
to
that. That gave me
you.
chills. Your sister's
But
picture gave me chills.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty girl.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay,
we'll be in touch, okay,
okay.
Joyce?
Take care.
Thanks for joining us. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Yeah, thank you for the reading. Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
There's Shonda. Okay, how are you feeling, Miss Tina? Okay,
Good.
I do have one more from our community. Her name is Miss V. If that's okay with you,
Okay. Is she
yes, she's
gonna
one
come
of those
then?
that she's always open for reading, and you'll love her energy. There she is. Hey, hey, Miss
Hey,
V, how
Okay.
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just
Miss
here.
V, I'm going to introduce you to Tina. Tina, this is Miss V.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi there. How are you?
Okay.
Oh, I like the hair.
Thank you.
I like the you got a little bit more going on the top now. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Yeah.
Boy, I like it. Looks good.
So, Miss V, do you have a
I
question
do.
or?
I'm kind of seeing someone. We haven't put a relationship
Okay.
name to it, but I'm wondering if he wants to take our relationship further.
Okay. So okay.
Tom,
What's his
Tommy,
first name? Not that I really need it.
Tommy, yeah.
Tommy?
Tina, I'm going to
Yeah.
step away for just a second, okay, Miss V? I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Okay, so I do have. Do you feel like it's a really
We
deep
do.
connection that you guys
We
have?
do have a very, very good connection. And I love the way he treats me.
He wants to honor you.
I love the way he does it. When I tell you, it's like we have a standing date every Monday.
Okay, so well, do you mind holding on? I want to kind of do a little bit, but I did want to say, and so that's the reason I asked, because before I was pulling cards, I already saw the Four of Wands. Okay, so you're asking about this, but Four of Wands to me can mean, like, you know, the 1111. It's about spirituality, waking up to this. It's also about foundation. It's also about stronger commitment and relationship, right? So this is the first card that came out, the first card, and I already saw this in my mind before it flew. But then we also have the King of Pentacles. Now, this gentleman, Tommy, has a lot of stability within him, and this is a very earthly, grounded energy. So he really grounds you when he's near you. This Four of Wands, though, is the commitment that he wants to give to you. Okay, so I do feel, because he's so stable himself, he wants to group the energy. Does that make sense? You have the Two of Pentacles, so I feel like this is you, though. You have an option to continue to, I feel like, bear patience with him, to allow him to, and also just to nurture it and not really live in tomorrow, but today, where it's the present, and that's the most that you're going to be, like, be in gratitude for, you know, going to the date that you guys have. That's the, you know, Monday, however, I think you said monthly, right? Or something like that. Yeah. And so we do have the Six of Swords. That's smooth sailing. I do feel like that's, I mean, essentially, I feel like your guys' higher selves and guides might be guiding this along too. I'm going to pull my other deck real quick. Yeah, and see, at the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles. So to me, that is you guys being really a divine counterparts. Well, that's what I asked you, how if you felt you had a strong connection with him.
Because I don't want to say too much right now. Once you get done, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll say this, Tina. Miss B, I've known her for several years now. She's got a really strong energy that draws you in, kind of like Joyce. She has a very attractive light about her, a very attractive energy about her. That is someone that is so easy to be with, to connect with, to align with, and all of that good stuff. She's one of those persons that you really can find comfort, and it's like that familiarity when you're with her, with Miss B.
I'm like everybody's mama.
That's
Hey,
a good
Trisha.
thing. Very nurturing energy. So we have a couple of cards out, okay? So we have the Comfort Zone, which is the South Node, and then we also have, and I'm going to show you the cards because this is a pretty neat deck. It's pretty much the Yin Yang Oracle. This would be for, like, very significant. I like to use when I'm reading, like, twin flames or soulmates or spiritual connections. We also have this card as well, which is talking about karmic until debt pays off. Basically, like, rewards, contracts is kind of the circle of life with it. It's not necessarily like the World card or the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot, but it's very similar. This is the Ace of Cups, okay? So I feel like in the past, there's been, like, a flood of emotions, probably, that have
Yeah, my
overwhelmed
husband
you.
passed away 5 years ago now. Yeah.
Okay. And so because of this is kind of the energy of where it's still energetically entangled with you. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like you're holding yourself back a little bit. Quantum entanglement. There's self-love and creation. So I feel like Spirit's really talking about you opening up to your self-love. This man is teaching you how to re-love, what love really means, and how to open your heart. So this is where this is coming from. The change as well, though. So we have a lot of 888, like the little luggage has the number. I don't know if you can see it right there. You probably can't, but This talks about abundance, right? This is also about manifestation because it's the eternal number, right? It's eternity. It also is 8 of Wands, so this is a very fast forward moving type of connection you're in with this gentleman. Again, the 4 of Wands coming out is the stability. I almost venture to say we probably have like the Knight of Wands as well because that's foundation. Um, yeah. So a lot of the fears that are holding you back. So the last card on the bottom is going to say source or trust. What the heck? But then we have imagination is real. So it's almost like I feel like there's a sense of like maybe you've dreamt this man. Maybe you've had like a it's a what I'm saying by this is that you have envisioned this energy long before, and so now it is here, and so spirit is really saying like look at see how magical
Yeah.
you are. And I feel like that's the confirmation. It's also talking about surrender. So when you surrendering, there is this like my left is so different body parts, right? This is divine feminine energy, and my arm is a part of the limb. So we're on the root chakra. This is a part of you feeling safe. So again, the word trust on the bottom is really significant for you because I feel like it's here's a statement. We don't always trust what the circumstance or the other person or the other anything outside of ourselves, right? But when we feel that, it's an important moment to go within and say, hey, I trust myself and my decisions and know that nothing can go wrong because it is all an experience and a beautiful one at that. So this is a gratitude because you do have new journeys. So this is a part of that. This is going to help you leap over this healing adjustment as well because it still very much is a wound, right? And I don't like using that word, but that's what I'm hearing. And so then we have radiant as well. So this guy, this person sees you as this beautiful, beautiful person. Obviously, you are mirroring and matching him with the Queen of Pentacles energy. They are saying to feel your emotions and get grounded as well. Let me pull a. Trying to see what other deck I have. Yeah, and then there's a lot of transformation that this is helping you in divine intervention. Spirits reminding you not to forget who you are, to really remind yourself of not like where you've come from, but that you are the all and everything and whole with or without somebody, okay? And so this is important because I feel like you might lose yourself as well, or scared to. And so that's that trust aspect that's really showing up. Ooh, he's a pretty person. Well, they're showing him as a divine masculine, so this is your counterpart. That's why you guys match up with the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. This is you, though. This is being guarded. This is also the wounded warrior. This is somebody who's like, I'm gonna have my bandana and just like not walk into that gate, or I'm not gonna let those people in. I'm gonna keep a part of me closed off. So I feel like you are being really really pushed to, and look, so on the bottom this is like, you know, this would be considered your soul tribe, not necessarily also technically around physical vessel like human form, but it's also going to be somebody spiritual, your guides and ancestors. I feel like just different aspects above are really trying to help you through this. And then the sun is all about happiness. So there's lots of joy. You asked essentially if you were going to be in a committed relationship. This man sees nothing but a future with you, basically. This is what I see. And the 4 of Wands came out as the first card, so that's just really indicative. One more message, please. Yeah. I feel like he's also able to really articulate himself with you. He not like a strong, demeaning energy, but he's very, like, I feel like the word is poignant, like very just like to the point and concise.
He gives me that kind of a aha thing, like, ah.
Do you feel like you have telepathy? Do you feel like when you're with him that do you feel, because you would feel, do you feel, because so the twin flame card is showing up, right? But the, like, I want you to read because this is a beautiful card, but on the bottom it has telepathic, spiritual, magnetic, divine connection, strong soulmate. Now these cards will never just fly out. You've had readings before, so you know that this is
it's not.
Spirit sort of shows what we need to see.
He is the type of man that when I say, I'll say, for instance, we were talking about Gerald Levert's music, and he was playing his little album, and I'm like, you know, Gerald Levert was such a wonderful singer, but he was gone too soon, and he said, no, baby, he wasn't gone too soon. It was his time to go, and I'm like, you know, you're right. We say that very, you know, outwardly because a person was young or You know, we felt like he didn't get a chance to get into the old age, what we want to call old age or whatever. But he was gone at the time he was supposed to go. And we quickly do say, you know, oh, that person was gone too soon, or they left too soon. But they left at the time that they needed to leave, or they chose to leave.
You know what's so
And
funny?
that's where regret comes
What's so
in.
funny, Miss D, when we say something like that, man, she was taken too soon. She was taken, or he was taken too soon. What we're really saying is, man, there's going to be a void in my life now when it comes to his music. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It
know if
felt
it's
like,
I don't know if it's a selfish thing for us to say,
mm-hmm.
but it really is something that it points back to us. Man, there's going to be a void in my life now. I won't be able to hear any new music from Levert, or I won't be
Mm-hmm.
able to spend more time with this person. She
Mm-hmm.
was taken too soon. But this Tommy is probably right. We move on when it's our time. We
And then there was another
never know
thing
when it's
that
our
I
time.
said. I had said, I wished I had prepared myself for my retirement. You know, so because I'm in a, I don't want to put it in the universe. I'm not where I would like to be financially. I'll
Right.
put it that way. And my thing that I said was, if I had thought about a 401k, even though I'm a school bus driver and some companies don't have those things that I
Hmm.
work for. And so I just felt like, you know, I'm just so tired of not having enough for the month, you know, and I'm not working at the moment because I'm retired now as opposed to working at the moment. But he was like, baby, you can't go back to what you did, the shoulda, woulda, couldas. And when he said it, it was almost like a honor, a relief to know that you're right. I can't even change what happened yesterday. So all I can do is live in the now, is what he was saying. Live in the now
Hmm.
and appreciate the now. But my reasoning for asking, you know, if Tommy is who wants to be in my life was, when we started out on the relationship, uh, I'm trying to be very, very tactful here. um, he doesn't want to be married. He said he doesn't want to get married again. Well, I was married for 41 years and with my husband for 44 years until he passed away. So it's not like I got to have a marriage, but I guess some part of me wants to be able to say, this is my man and not just my male friend. And so I think that was the reason for asking, you know, do he want more from me, just other than being the fun part of our relationship?
I do see he does. He actually finds you as his counterpart. So that's the whole thing. Like I was trying to see in the other tarot, but this is the other deck and this is the yang. Now the only thing like that you guys could be potentially going through, because I do feel like it's a very strong magnetic connection to you, and
Mm-hmm.
this is where he grounds you a lot. You guys might reflect certain fears within each other though. And so since you desire something, it might reflect back in him and he might push away a little. I don't like to manifest negativity. So whenever I do reads, I always try to turn it around
Mm-hmm.
because there's a positive to everything. But essentially take your time. Remember that, because I feel like with you, it may be an older ideal, I guess, to have a set
Mm-hmm.
type of commitment. So when we talk about this, this is like the paradigm. This is patriarchy providing this, and this is where like you can receive it how you want, right? Because you want something so that you give it value, you give it meaning, but you can also have value in just love. And I think that a lot of people, and what I really do my readings on,
Mm-hmm.
are very much unconditional love. And it's like we can love somebody even if they're not in our life or present. And it's so good to ground that in forgiveness. And even if we don't talk to them for bad terms, you know, I know I'm kind of digressing, but it's the energy that it still holds within your heart because you're always going to be rooted in love. Does that
And
make
which
sense?
is he doesn't want the traditional, you know, like I said, to call me his girlfriend and I call him my boyfriend or whatever, you know. I don't think I have to have it. I guess I just want to know where I stand with him. I don't have to have a title. You know, I guess that's what it is for me. I don't need a title. I just need to know, am I important enough to him to, you know, keep the relationship that we're doing going.
Miss D,
Mm-hmm.
I think you said it that for you it's more important to have that relationship and not the title.
Mm-hmm.
Because anybody can have that title, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, but behind the scenes you have no idea what the relationship is like. And I think that is
Mm-hmm.
great that Tina can give you that guidance. And because I know a little bit about your background and your story, and I've known you for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
everything you've said tonight, Tina, is on point.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one
Oh
question
yeah.
I want to ask Miss V
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think I've asked you before. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had a couple of other times when you were on our reading, on our live, and we talked about your husband who had passed, and I was
Mm-hmm.
able to connect with him. Beautiful man. Man, he's
Mm-hmm.
such a beautiful. When I get that age, his age, I want to be just like him. Put it that way. He's got a beautiful energy, you know. But um, so I think the question that I'd like to ask you, Miss B, is whether not so much is this the right person for you, but I guess my question for you, Miss V, is are you ready for this person to be the right person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am. I am ready for him to be the right person for me. I guess my fear is I don't want to push too much. You know, to make I don't want to even say suggestions because I really don't want to. I guess my fear is if I push too much, will I run him off? That's basically what it is.
So what I'm feeling is there's something different about this
So
one. There's something different about Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
There is not I don't want to say a mystery, but there is something about him that draws you to
Mm-hmm.
him, that you're attracted to, like a moth to a flame or something like that. But it's different from the other men that you have dated in the past.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Mm-hmm.
a freshness
Way
about him.
different.
Yeah.
And he's 13 and he's 13 years my senior. Now, knowing I'm 66
okay.
makes him 78.
Get out of here. You ain't 66.
I
Get
am
out of here.
66. I am 66 years old.
I I believe 42, maybe 40.
Years young, years
Okay,
young.
My look,
whatever, Missy.
my son is 43. He's the baby. I have a 49-year-old daughter, a 47-year-old daughter, and a 44-year daughter, and my son is 43.
I'm gonna bleep all those numbers out in the replay. No, but Tina, you are on point with Miss V, and I think you've given her. I've heard in that reading that you gave her, and then I'm not sure if you were done, so I don't want to interrupt anymore. But it is a yes, 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 yes. There's a connection there.
What I hmm what I would say for you, right, and I speak from my heart, and I always try to, but like to really emphasize it just because it's how I feel I have to be. But um, you have such a beautiful heart and energy, and it deserves to be loved and nurtured. And like the seed that gets planted in the ground and fertilized,
Yeah.
like he is the water to that. And that's what I'm really feeling and seeing. And so, because this is such a, and I will call it a divine connection, okay, because it has that much love in it that I
Mm-hmm.
can feel from my own heart. It is like allow yourself to embrace every moment like if it was the most delicious
I
dessert. I don't know how to explain that to
I
you or
get
articulate it
what
better,
you're
but
saying. I really do. I really do.
and try not to live too much in tomorrow because it doesn't exist. And yesterday doesn't either. But if it does, and it brings up, these are moments where you can kind of go back and retell that timeline. But in the future, you bring in that future by creating the now and being so grateful for it. And you can't run away anything that isn't meant for you. But also remember that everything in life, everything is an experience just projected outside of yourself. And so that's a beautiful thing too. And you have created this love. You have called it in. So that is even
Yes.
more beautiful.
Thank you.
So
I
I think that's
really
good.
appreciate it. I'm telling you, because I have what I call a God box. And in it is everything that I wrote down that I want in the person. And yes, I
You
did.
manifested
And
it.
and the one thing
I
that
love that.
stands out with him for me is I wrote down whoever gets me gets the me that I am now, all of me and everything that goes along with me. And when I tell you this man loves the way that I am, I'm trying to be so very, very careful here. He enjoys me so, so much. That's the best way I can say it.
That's beautiful. But that's why you got this card. Imagination is real. It talks about whatever you create. And think about that. You've literally brought this into your reality. So how freaking powerful are you? It's just to show you that. It's just to show you. And you brought in love.
Yes. I'm telling you, oh my goodness. Yes. And he
Yeah,
is such.
we've had a history of a little bit of difficulty in the past with bringing in this person that is connected to you, that is that water to your seed, that delicious dessert. We've
Yes.
had some struggles in the past,
Mm,
and
mm, mm.
that's why I asked that question. It's not whether he's the right person; is are you ready?
I am so ready.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not to throw this off, but my daughter uh, just got a new position,
Oh.
and we're getting ready to move 2 hours away from where we are now into a beautiful home. We just don't know which home it is yet. Now, there is this one home we're looking at, and I'm talking like I got the money, but it's her money. It's a 1936 home, but when I say it
Wow.
is absolutely gorgeous. But she's like, Mom, I think it's just gonna have a lot of spirits on it. And I'm like, well, we just simply ask the spirits to, be where they are, and we're a loving family. We're not coming in to disrupt nothing in the on the land. So we
Well,
just
Miss
kind of
B,
try. Go ahead.
you have people in our community that can possibly help you with that. Tina can possibly help you with that when you're in that new home. Annie G, Annie T, um, even Grizz, or even myself. We're here for you. That's what our community is for. If you
Okay.
find in that house that there are some overwhelming spirits, and I can tell you right now, I'd be more than happy to assist you if I can.
Mm-hmm.
We
Because
can
I
do
just
it just
don't
like
feel
this.
like I feel like if it is some ancestors on the land that were hurt, I don't think we're the ones that they would be upset with because we didn't hurt them.
So 1936, if the home was built in 1936, it is still fairly a new home, but there are still residual energies of the
Mm-hmm.
past occupants. There are residual energies from prior the landowners and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean you won't really know until you get there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and you're
That's what we
gonna
said. That's
feel
what
it.
me
You're
and my
gonna
daughter
understand.
said. When we walk through the door, we'll see. And then we're not sure that this is gonna be the home, but we're hoping.
So I'll say this. So Spirit wants me to let you know to before you even attempt to move in, if this is the home that you end up with, whatever home it is, have the home blessed. Take your crystals with you, Miss B, because I know you got them.
Mm-hmm.
Take your
Mm-hmm.
crystals with you and do a walkthrough of the house
Mm-hmm.
and touch every corner of that house, the four corners of your house.
Mm-hmm.
And when you touch the corners of your house, make sure you say a blessing of your own. We are here as new occupants. We don't mean any harm. We don't want anything negative. We invite anything that is of love, that is of light, anything that can help us as we live here to guide us. And you go to every corner, the four corners of your home,
Mm-hmm.
and do that.
Yep,
That
that's
way
it.
you let these, whatever spirits or entities or
Mm-hmm.
residual energy is there,
Mm-hmm.
you have already given them your intentions while
Yes.
you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep, that's
And if you
exactly what I
still have
said.
problems, there's people in our community that can help you with that.
That's
That's kind
exactly
of why we're
what I
here.
told my daughter. I said, we're just gonna, let them know that we're not here to do harm and we don't expect harm to be done to us. And
Mhm.
we want to live in a nice community unity space.
So I'm super excited for you because not only are you in possibly a new home, in a new community,
Mm-hmm.
but you're in a new relationship, a new connection.
Mm-hmm.
These are all new and fresh for you, and it's
Yes.
the universe and your husband saying, "It's time, Miss B, for your start, your fresh start. It is
Mm-hmm.
time for you. This is your second chance, your second go around. This is that new time for you. This is the
Mm-hmm.
time that you can be the Miss B that you are now. And you don't have to be the Miss B you were in the past or yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tina said, that's gone. And you don't have
Yes,
to
it
worry
is
about
gone.
being a certain Miss B for the future. She said it so amazingly, and I wrote it down. It's going to be the title for this video. Bring in the future by creating the now. I love
Oh,
that.
I love that.
That's
Yes,
Tina just
yes,
said that. I
yes.
absolutely
I
love that
love that. Yes, that is so
because
good.
it's
Thank you
for
so
me
very
too.
much. Yes,
It's
I
for me
really
too. I live in the
appreciate
past a
that.
lot. I worry about the future, and I struggle with the
And
present. Why?
we
Because
got
my
to live in
energy's
the
like that.
now. That's it. We
Right.
have to live in the
Right.
now. My
Yeah.
Monday's coming up soon, and we will have breakfast and brunch.
Very good. Very, very good. Tina, I'm sorry. Is there anything else that you would like to share with Miss B?
Um, no, just stay rooted in love and remind yourself that you are loved, and love, you deserve to be loved. And just remembering that will continue to
Okay.
perpetuate it back into you. So it's just keep giving that love out and keep knowing that you're always in
Okay,
that
I will.
vibration of love.
Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you both so very
Thank
much.
you.
Love you, Miss B.
Love you
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
You take care. Okay. Tina, I want to be
Okay.
mindful of your time. I know it's late. I want to take 15 minutes to talk about Tina. Okay, maybe 15
Okay.
minutes to talk about Tina and me. Um,
Okay.
kind of go back to when you were our guest and you did a reading for me. Remember? And we talked about well, I shared with you that there was this energy, there was this younger male I saw with you while you were doing my reading. And then I explained to you who this person was. And it was kind of mysterious in the beginning when I started to share with you, but I was trying to understand at the same time until I had that aha moment. Yeah. So long story short, that was a version of myself when I was younger and um, less jaded by the world. Didn't go through all the different heartaches and the headaches and the hurts and the pains of relationships, of loss of this world. It was a time when I was a little bit more innocent. I can't say I was ever innocent because my mom says when I was growing up, I was a really naughty boy growing up, and that's kind of evident now. I had my moments, but anyway, the reason why I knew this person wasn't connected to you, for me, when I see a spirit next to a person, usually if they're on the right side of that person, there is a blood connection. There is a family connection. I didn't see this boy on your right side. I saw him on your left, which tells me he's not connected to you. But why am I seeing this person? And he didn't feel negative. He didn't feel like he was something in your house. I really feel like you have your house protected already. So there's no way you can have that negativity going on in your house. So good for you. But I did want to share with you that once I understood what was happening, why I was seeing who I was, why I was seeing, uh, or hearing what I was hearing, and incorporating that, I actually went back and watched our replay about 3 times in that video, especially the part where you gave me a reading. And I understood. I'm like, okay, she hit everything I needed to hear. And that only creates more questions, you know? It's just one of those things. It's the curiosity of life. When we get all the answers we want, oh, we make up all these new questions now. And then we got to find answers for that. And we got to find, right?
Never
I don't
satisfied.
know if you're the same way,
Yeah.
but that's me. But I understood
Yeah.
more. And what was so great about the reading that you gave me was there was such a familiarity between your energy and my energy as if we had, I don't know, I don't want to say a past life connection or maybe a passing in life connection. I'm not sure, but it felt so familiar, like I knew you at another time. I knew you in another lifetime. Um, your energy just felt so familiar. And I don't know if it's something that you get told that a lot. Maybe it's just your understanding of who you are now. Sorry, of who you are now, but um, I think I was more open with you in a reading than I ever was in past readings. I've had, I want to say, 5 or 6 other readings from people I knew and people I trusted and people who I connected with. And one of them was my mentor. She gave me a couple of readings, and I've always been the type when I didn't understand that tarot was a tool. I didn't understand uh, how it can help us um, to give us guidance, to give us hope, to give us understanding. I always thought it was, oh no, they're going to see that I did this. I stole candy from the store when I was 6 years old. Oh no, I don't want to get a tarot reading because they're going to know that I stole a Hot Wheel from the mall when I was 3 years or whatever the case is, you know? But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do a reading, not in public. I don't want people to know that I stole candy. I don't want people to know that, I wasn't, yeah,
It's your
right. I
guilty
wasn't the
mind.
dad I was supposed to be, or my poor choices in past relationships. I don't want people to know that. I don't want people to see that. And I understood as we went through the reading and watched the replay. I was like, man, in all of the replays that we have up on our channel, the only elephant in the room, gotta have that plug. In some way, shape, or form, I've already exposed that in those videos. I've already shared that. I've already become transparent enough and comfortable enough that I can talk about the lesser parts of me, the parts that are not where I want it to be, the parts where I failed, the parts where I wish I did better, I wish I did more. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. So, the point I'm trying to make here is your readings are different than ever had anybody else do readings with us. We've had some other readers that are absolutely incredible. The Modern Mystic was here. She did some readings. Annie G did some readings. Annie T did some readings with us. And everybody reads differently. Everybody understands differently. Everybody interprets differently. But there was just something different about, because I felt that familiarity of your energy, of your vibe, it was much more easy to open up to and say, okay, we're going to pull back the curtain a little bit. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the Luca that's the real Luca you got to know. You know. So I did want to say thank you for that. I did want to say
Oh, thank you.
thank you for opening my eyes, my heart, my spirit with that. And it just goes to prove that for me, that our connection wasn't coincidence, that it was supposed to happen.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
it's funny, if I may interject with you, because so nothing is coincidence, right? And I am very well aware of this, but I think that when you had gone onto my Instagram page originally, you mentioned something, and I get busy. There's a lot that I'm just trying to ground in my own world, and then of course being enabled to do stuff, but I got busy and then I didn't see it. And then that morning I woke up, which I think it was like at 6 in the morning. I don't know why I even just woke up, and that was an instantaneous thought. Go to this person. You got to find it right now. Like, you have to message him. And I was like, okay, let's just do it. So I messaged, and I think that because of the timing too, normally I wait till like 7 o'clock to message anybody. But so what I'm trying to say is, yes, you're right. And there is this passing, and there's always this soul tribe, and there's always what I like to say with people. I don't know, everybody has a different perspective, but we're all just exchanging keys. And so we're just simply unlocking one another. And these meetings happen so that we can. I met a young gentleman a while back, like about 2 weeks ago or so, and he was like, oh, I never meet people that are like conscious, right? Or to awaken to his own state. And I was like, okay. I said, well, we're just like, walking past each other. We have like fairy dust behind us, if you will, and we're just sprinkling it around everywhere we go. So of course, this is the key that is exchanging. So you're giving me something as much as I'm giving you. So I am grateful that I had the opportunity to still be in connection with you as well, and the group that we have as well.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to also say is, if you want a reading from Miss Tina, Infinite Moon Love, please go find her Instagram. Go follow her, message her. There are other services that Miss Tina does provide, I believe, and you can check it out in her bio. Is there anything you'd like to share with us as far as your services that you offer, where they can reach you, where the social media they can find you at, Tina?
I do post most often on TikTok, so if you guys want to follow me on TikTok, but I'm trying to leverage more on my YouTube. So, and of course I'm trying to grow that organically. So if anybody does or is interested, this is what I offer just as an energy exchange. And if you know anybody that's interested as well, I always give like a 5-minute video reading that's free, just for somebody to go subscribe at my YouTube, because I feel like that's more of a equal exchange for me at this point. But I mean, there are, spiritual coaching sessions as well. And so if they're interested in a 30-minute or 1 hour, or even just a quick session, I'm always open to that.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. I wouldn't know how to sell myself otherwise. But I do like to help people realign. Really, essentially, my readings are to realign everybody, because we have our divine masculine and our feminine. That's why I focus, because that's what I'm being guided to focus on, those aspects. And that way we can create also the union on the external.
So, can I ask, is that something where if you say, like, you look at me now and say, okay, I can understand that Luke is divine masculine side is so prevalent, is so dominant, that it is unbalanced because his divine feminine side uh, needs to be worked on. Can you look at somebody and say that, or and understand that?
So I can channel your energy, right? I'm going to pull that, and then I would start asserting and kind of breaking you apart. And one of the things I feel like, I mean, most people can, I don't know, I don't really ask a lot, but I tend to see everybody's like inner wounded child as well. And so I can see their highest self also. So it's just like, just something that I'm always tapping into, which I try to turn off. But to answer your question in short, yes, I can. But I navigate by talking and asking a few questions. And then even just by looking at you and tapping into the energy, I could see that. But yeah, we are all wounded. And essentially, this is my belief again as well. Like, we all have divine masculine wounds. And then we also have the distorted, it's really the distorted feminine and masculine energies. And these come from the people that have raised us most oftentimes, and that's a masculine energy or a female, and gender as well. So that's going to be the energy and the gender, because society, humanity, I feel right now is completely in that polarity, and that's what we're trying to transition out of, so that way we can be more whole, as opposed to being so codependent as a society at the same time. That's my belief. It gets a lot deeper, but that's
No, I know we can go and talk about stuff like this for hours. And people who are just joining will be like, okay, what are they talking about? I have no idea what they're talking about. There's terminology I don't understand. And then there are people in the community who are like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, divine feminine. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, okay, I understand. So I was having a conversation a couple of days ago with a friend of mine. And I don't know if you notice these. These are actually glass beads.
The beads?
So at one point I used to design jewelry.
Okay.
And it was really just to pass the time. And I was always inspired by color, by compositions or mix-up of colors. And one of the people that followed me even way back then in 2017, 2015, I believe it was, he had said, man, here in Hawaii we call it mahu, or feminine. Yeah? And he had asked, man, that's when you was going through your mahu stage. I was like, what are you talking about, mahu stage? I said, I'm kind of offended by that, because even if I'm not mahu, I'm offended for those who are. But there are cultures, like in the Samoan culture, mahu is an accepted thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But for me, I was like, no, it's not. It's not about being mahu. It's me being in touch with my feministic side, the creativity of feministic side. Because as a man, I wouldn't be able to go, man, those colors are pretty. I'm gonna put it together because I like those colors. It was me understanding my feminine side. And, right, and I didn't understand it then, but I do now. That I do have this feminine side to myself that I sometimes I tap into, especially when it comes to creating, especially when it comes to writing, or even like doing my daily posts. There is some feministic creativity side to it because I have an understanding of what I want to put out there, you know? So I don't know if that made sense to you or not, but it's just interesting.
Oh, it does.
And I like, and I think that's one thing I noticed that's different about you and your content and what you post and what you share is I read through a lot of those posts that you have that talk about connections for one, but you talk about the divine feminine. You also talk about the divine masculine, how they work together, how they incorporate with one another. And I was like, man, this just makes total sense now. It really, I understand. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for putting it in layman's. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any last words for us, Miss Tina?
No, not at all. But I have enjoyed being on with you guys tonight. Thank you so much for sharing energy.
Thank you for being here and giving a few readings for us tonight. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your guidance. Thank you to all of those who joined us tonight from our community. And anybody who's new, if you're not following Tina, please make sure you do that. Make sure you hit her up on her YouTube channel, Infinite Moon Love. Okay. YouTube channel, and also on Instagram. Go find her, follow her, hit her up for some readings. Hit her up for a reading on YouTube as well. Hopefully we can catch you live on the YouTube or Instagram at some time. Thank you again, Tina, for tonight. Thank you for everybody who joined tonight. Trisha, it's great to see you. Miss B and Joyce, thank you again for being with us tonight. Annie G, Cleo, and Shonda was also here from our community. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Tina, thank you again. Aloha.
Bye-bye.